as they say around these parts. Can't forget the clapboard. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Ayo is the Future, and I welcome you back to the Retired Gamer. The last month or so has been a lot of catching up on my end. There was a period of time where I was sick, and we had some sickness pass through our house, so I had to really kind of focus on that and then get caught up with my work for my clients and kind of start being able to create free time for me to be able to get back in front of the camera with you like this. Being able to tackle the sleep and meditation videos has been just therapeutic for me on so many different levels. So I've just been kind of getting caught up in doing it, and I hope that everybody out there that's watching it and tuning in is able to utilize the sleep and meditation videos for what they are. And with that being said, I have to just give everybody a huge thanks, because I hit 200 subscribers today, and it's so great, and there's a level, it's like a different level of fulfillment there and accomplishment, because I just started this channel. Granted, I created the channel like maybe 2 years ago, but I was so swamped with all my day-to-day activities that there was no way that I was gonna be able to kind of incorporate the time it takes to build a YouTube channel, so I never even attempted it. And every single day I'm like, I wish I did it sooner, right? But it is what it is. So we're here right now, and I'm just full of gratitude for it. So I want to keep the sleep and meditation videos going. The second the weather breaks and it's no longer 10 degrees outside, I plan on getting a lot of outdoor nature shots. I already have a bunch of shots already in my mind that I already have like framed and everything. So I think they're gonna be extremely gratifying for us that like to utilize these for sleep as well as meditation as well. I don't meditate as much as I used to, but I do know the power of meditation. And I think I really would like to get back to meditating and tap it more. I pretty much like do my best thinking while I'm sleeping, so like that's kind of like the time that I'm looking forward to the most. But I think incorporating some level of meditation on my end will be very, very helpful. So I plan on continuing those videos, and I've gotten a request to do a reaction video. It's actually for a music video, and I'll get to that after. I kind of want to tackle a couple other things that I want to cover in this episode and segment. So the reaction video is going to be really interesting because I've never done anything like that. My cousin out of Syracuse, she sent me this video. She listens to a lot of music that has different levels of culture in it. So when she sent it to me, I already knew what it might be hitting for. So I'm going to listen to it in some actual detail and give my honest reaction, honest feedback on the spot, and kind of go forward with that. So I want to cover that, and then also I want to review. You know what? I gotta see right now before I even start talking about this lens. How do you pronounce that? That's the. Yeah, let's see how do you say this? Sure. Okay, so it's such a challenging word. So it is Sure. So now the Sure 24mm anamorphic lens, I had the pleasure of actually having one for about 48 hours or so, and in that 48 hours of me having this spectacular lens, we ended up getting hit with an ice storm. That was really great, and I was able to take it out and kind of actually see what an anamorphic lens actually is. So I remember years and years ago, this is back when I was like applying to places to actually like work for other places, right? And doing so, in one of the applications, like it was like a response. It was weird. I got like an email. It was a direct email. It was like, do you know what the difference between an anamorphic lens and a like a cine lens is, or a telephoto lens? And at the time, I had no idea. So I'm not gonna act like I did. I told the guy I wasn't sure, and I would look into it. Now, being able to look into something and read about it is one thing. When you get your hands on something and then you're able to actually see, for me anyways, the way that I interpret things on a deeper level is being able to hands-on work with something. When I was young, I would take things apart. I would take a VCR apart to see how it works. I would take a camera apart to see how it works. I would take having my hands on the 24mm Sirui anamorphic lens. It was great. I shot a lot of my shots that when I had an opportunity to use it was during the night, so I didn't really get a chance to see it as much during the day. But I just love the way the light moved when you actually have the lens going from point A to point B, and you have like ambient light sources in the background, which may be like street lights, traffic lights, etc. Right? So when you're moving a lens, what ends up happening is the lens gives the light a horizontal type vibe to it. So it just gives it like these natural streaks. You might watch Transformers or Michael Bay film, and he uses a lot of streaks in his films and stuff like that. So an anamorphic lens, you can naturally create that look, which gives it a more of a cinematic look and cinematic feel. Now, I will say some of the cons that I experienced with the lens was what I would end up having to do is I would have to crop in and kind of squeeze the image a little bit, and I'm not the biggest. It's not my favorite shot. So what I ended up doing was I just went into 4K. I think I was doing 120 frames per second, and the same thing was occurring. What will happen is that the lens will look almost as if it's in a tunnel. When it comes to the anamorphic, if you're doing slow motion, you're in this tunnel, so you have to crop in and post automatically to get rid of those dark, like the vignetting corners and stuff like that. So I was not a fan of having to do that, so I will end up looking into what the solution would be, since I haven't actually used this type of lens for a lot of shoots, and I wouldn't like go and bring it to like a client-based shoot personally because I don't have the experience of working with it. I would probably shoot with this lens in maybe 5 different situations before I actually worked on a client project with it, so that way I can understand how it works and everything like that. I didn't get that much time with it, so just based on my experience with it here, I'll even show you guys some of the shots that I was able to capture with it. The shots where it was like 4K, 24 frames per second, they looked remarkable, extremely smooth. There was a lot of like cinematic feel and effect that I remember having when I was shooting. I don't know if you know, but I used like a gimbal setup with the DJI RS2. I was using that with the Sony Alpha 1, which I'm shooting with right now, and the 24mm Sirui. So here's a look at what it looks like from a product standpoint, and here's what it looks like from an actual in the field standpoint, right? Cover one more thing, and that last thing that I want to cover is some information that I've been privy to for about the last 10 years, that a lot of people I'm finding that really are not aware of it, especially people that's like in my family and stuff like that. So this channel is reaching so many people. I say, you know what, I'm gonna start sharing. So I want to share information that's gonna actually be helpful on multiple different levels. Specifically, like let's say if you paid too much for your insurance premium and your state comptroller said, hey, you paid Allstate too much, we got some funds for you, you need to claim them, and then we'll send you a check or whatever, right? So for New York State, you'd want to go to this is osc.state.ny.us. Now this is the office of the New York State Comptroller, who is Thomas Di Napoli. So you would want to go to unclaimed funds. So when you actually land on their site, right, you get this. I'm on a desktop, so there's like this. There's a lot going on. There's like government fraud over here, retirement system, but there's a box and it says unclaimed funds. So when you click on this box where it says unclaimed funds, as of right now in 2023, there's been $87,280,188 returned back to New Yorkers, right? But there's still $17.5 billion of lost money. And they say it right here. Every day, New York State returns $1.5 million to those who file claims here. Is any of that yours? So you just go and click on this search now icon, and once this loads up, well, you can look up anybody's last name. Sometimes I'll just be sitting around, and one of my best friend's last name, his last name is Parker. So I'll type in Parker, and I'll search, and then what'll happen is it'll come here, and now there's too many results. So then I'm gonna go to city. I'm gonna type in my city here. Yeah, so you can pretty much look up any last name and search for yourself, search for your aunt, your uncle. Maybe they might break you off something, right? But before I go, I want to say one thing. I have no idea how much money and unclaimed funds each of you may have. It is there's no way that anybody can actually know until you find out. So rather than not find out, I'd rather see, oh, you know what, there's only $2 over there, it's not worth my time, because they're going to tell you how much you can claim, right? Now, if it's like a couple $1,000s, that's worth your time. If it's a couple $100s, that's worth your time. Why? Because a couple $100s is food on the table. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I have no idea how much it'll be for you. Everybody, it might be different for every other person. So, I did this back in 2013. I had a few $100s. They sent me a check. Now, today, their system may have changed. You might be able to get a direct deposit. It may, the whole entire process might be faster. And I can't tell you exactly how much was claimed when back in 2013, but I know it wasn't $87 million. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this up. And I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover in this specific segment of the Retired Gamer. So please just hit that like, comment, subscribe as well if you aren't, and just tap in. I just got to give another huge thanks to everybody that is subscribed and that is tapped in. I'm looking into kind of creating like more of an inclusive program of content that I can release to you and be able maybe to even give access to you if you had questions regarding cinematography, photography, gear. Maybe you want to go purchase something but you don't know what to get and you want to get pointed in the right direction with somebody that doesn't have any motive or any hidden agenda. I'll just help you out. Let me know, reach out to me, and if you got any videos you want to see me do a reaction to, please reach out to me. And with that being said, let me get into it. So this is my first reaction video. I hope you enjoy it. I'm AO is the Future, signing off. Can't forget the clapboard.